Yo, back. Second time in one day. It look like
we had an intermission.
and it looked like we ain't even move.
And but the sun has gone down because we don't have natural light like we did earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Hey you guys, it's me, Kiarty, and I'm back again with another video. This is gonna be fun because y'all know how long I missed doing these videos. I've missed doing videos, but I've just been so busy. I haven't had the time to do them. So, so what are some topics? What's the topic right now, babe, that we want to go over?
Kevin Samuels. No, I'm joking. All right, let's talk about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels has some good topics. I was thinking about that earlier, taking some of his topics and like talking to you about them.
Do you mean to have this conversation right now on camera?
No, just saying. We just talking.
Okay.
But I'm not talking right now, though. I'm just saying. So what topics were you thinking about? I was just joking.
So first things first, I think we should talk to them about where I left off at with the last video when I said that there were some lines that I needed to draw in the sand.
You drawing lines.
So there was a couple of videos that I did last year when I was talking about this guy in my building who wore these like really raggedy shoes, and I was just talking about how I was interested in them, but then I was also fighting it.
They were Adidas. They weren't Skechers. Go on.
I don't know what this guy's talking about.
You're saying raggedy shoes. I want to like put some context to that.
You put some respect on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cat's out of the bag. It was this guy.
Yeah.
It was this guy. And it still tickles me to this day because I was like, nah, like this is guy in my building. He's cool and all, but I'm good. And push came to shove. We started dating and we got married in 3 months.
Yeah, we used to see each other down in the workspace.
Yeah.
I was
in the co-working space.
I wasn't going to even be in Chicago. I met her. My cousin stayed in that building.
Yeah.
And
which was where I lived there for a year. He lived there for a year, but we didn't know each other coming into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was only going to be there for like 5 days, and you know I ended up staying for a long time because not to get into that part, but like
yeah.
it just I ended up staying for a long time. So you know when her and I met, it was cool because she was such a pleasant person in the building, and it started off as just friends, honestly.
Yeah, and we were just working together.
Yeah, because I really, even though I'm from Chicago, I really didn't like go out and socialize. And obviously she was in her moment of isolation, but when I didn't socialize, like I threw parties for like 20 years, so I could have went out a lot, but I didn't want to subject myself back to the culture that comes with that.
Yeah.
So we kind of became friends because we were both in isolation, and we
were in a similar season.
Yeah, we was in a similar season, and we found comfort, I guess, in conversing amongst each other.
But see, above all that, and like above all else, we were working together because at the time he had a business that he was kind of hitting reset on, and he was redeveloping it kind of like from scratch, so to speak. And so when we met, we were cool, and I remember we hung out, and I remember thinking like, nah, I don't like this guy. I thought I liked him, but I must have been tripping. I was tripping. I misassessed the situation, and I was like, okay, cool. And that was around the time in my videos prior to me coming to that conclusion where I was like, there's this guy that I like. I just see him all the time, and it's like, it's just a thing there, and I da-da-da-da-da. So after that space, I was like, yeah, I don't like him, and then I ended up being like, but he's very wise. So I would love to have him as like a male mentor. And what most people don't know is that I was specifically praying at that time for some sort of male, not presence. Like I wasn't looking for something romantic at all at that time. I was praying for a male figure, someone that can be of a mentor to me. So I remember when we first connected and we hung out, I remember being like, he's cool, but I'm not into it. And that was around the time too he started calling me the Jesus girl. So we both just was like, nah, we cool, but we ain't cool.
Oh,
like, we ain't going there.
I didn't want to hurt her. So I was like, she was such a good person. So I was just like, man, I'm not even trying to bark up this tree of trying to talk to this girl. And at that time, I didn't have really good luck with like dating, so to speak. And not saying I didn't have good luck with like dating, like in my earnest, but it's more so it was too inconsistently consistent, and I didn't want her to be a part of that narrative. So even if I was interested, I was like, man, I think it needs to be like just cool, because I don't want this to fall into the same scenario. And unbeknownst to me, it wouldn't even fall into that scenario based off her character, because if you stay, then that actually goes out to a lot of women, man. If y'all just stay very stern on y'all character, you'd be surprised what a man would do to secure it.
Wait. I know in you that was loaded with stuff that needs to be decoded. So what are you saying?
Like, she
don't say too much, but I think I know what you're saying. But what are you basically saying?
Like, nah, she wouldn't waver. Like, she when I said Jesus girl, I might have been playing, but the thing is, Jesus is really tethered to her heart. And I'm jaded because I come from promoting, and I know a bunch of girls that be like, doing everything under the sun on a Saturday and go to church on Sunday. So when she like, yo, I'm like about Christ, I'm like, yo, why do I gotta get the born again Christian? Can you just like go back to your bad ways just for me? And so she she wasn't going, and I was just like, yo, man, like,
why I gotta put in the work?
Like why do I gotta put in the work? Like, why can't I get the other side of you? Like, why can't I, And I think every man out there feels me on that. Like, y'all know when y'all run into them girls and they're like, I just turned over a new leaf. I'm to God and everything. But unbeknownst to me, though, she was like this her whole life. Like, that's why it goes back to the previous video when I said she had a council of women around her from a young age. She's been like that. And
probably like teens going into college after college.
Yeah, and I mean,
going into college after college more than anything.
And so
was when I really started to be molded and nurtured in that way, where I was starting to develop integrity and character, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so I didn't know all that, and so then I definitely, was like, all right, but she was so much around me and helped so much, and I tried to hold out. Every guy out there know 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, he used to tell me that when we first started like being around each other all the time, it was because we were working together strictly. And he made it very clear from the beginning that we would work together and that we would just work together and that there was going to be no romantic interest there. Which for me was dope because I was already in a season of isolation and I was like, he's super smart, so I know he can teach me some things. And I don't have to worry about him trying to smash. So I was like, cool. Like, I can work with you on your business, which will also inevitably help me because at some point I want to open my own project management consulting business. So I was just like, it's like a win-win for both of us. And because I want male counsel and male mentorship, and he doesn't, he was dead set about not pursuing me romantically. I was like, oh, it's like a win-win. So because of that agreement we made in the very beginning, we literally spent so much time together and he never pulled it. He never crossed me. He wouldn't even sit next to me on a couch because I made him, I would say, uncomfortable. Or I think I just stuck so firmly to what I felt.
No, none of that. All right, you know how they press pause in a VHS cassette? Okay, this is our pause moment. Hey guys, listen up. I already knew where I was headed. I already knew I was gonna be dumb successful, and I was just like, yo, I was like, listen, I ain't trying to have no me too. I ain't trying to have none of that. I said, so, this girl I met in a building, she up in my apartment. I don't know what she about to do, like what she's about. So last thing I'm gonna do is have something come out and say 5 years from now, John had me in the Paragon, and he told me he was gonna work with me and everything, and then all of a sudden, he put his hand on my leg, access opera, I gotta, I didn't want none of that. So I was like, yo, if I said we gonna be friends, yo, we friends, because I'm not never gonna use no clout, no nothing to change it. So therefore, now you can go back and tell Erica unpause.
Okay. So he never would cross me. And so it was cool. It was like it was great reciprocity basically between us. And then over time, I remember we would hang out, we would talk. I think the interest was starting to develop I know it was starting to develop on his end, because I pretty much I was cool the whole time we were just developing like this friendship. I was super cool.
You have an amnesia?
Why you say that?
All right, pause again. So so we started sitting next to each other on the couch and everything.
He started sitting next to me. I did not start sitting next to him.
Okay, that's true. But she started grabbing my hand
and
doing this in my palm and my hand. She started doing all this stuff.
Then there was interest. That was the gist of our intimacy. That was the gist of our intimacy. I did like these and
wanted to cook for me. So,
no, you asked me to cook for you. Remember the first time I cooked for you? I made you turkey tacos and chicken barbecue tacos.
Yeah, but you did it in your apartment. So therefore, it's
I did it in yours.
So no, you didn't. We did it in
I brought
yours.
the food down to your apartment and I cooked in your kitchen.
No, you didn't.
I swear I did. And then you had left for a while,
we ate
and you came back.
Well, yeah, that was pizza.
No, but then it was another time where I cooked the food in your crib, because I remember that was the first time I had to find my way around and find the dishes.
However it was, listen, fellas, if a girl start playing in the palm of your hand and then want to cook you tacos,
no.
Or you ask and she obliged.
Don't be fudging the truth.
She obliged.
I was like, yeah, we both gotta eat.
Yeah. Like I said, unpause. Like, y'all don't think I'm over here like, doing that. Hey girl, hey boo, trying to put your arm around her and everything.
No, he didn't even do that. It took him a while to even sit next to me on the couch, let alone to put his arm around me. And then even the progression after that, it was time in between. Now, when I say time in between, it wasn't too much time in between, because we got married in 3 months, but it was enough time in between. Literally within that first, I think, month of us being around each other and like working together so closely and like dating, he told me he loved me.
Now we're gonna pause right there. So like,
is that not true?
That's true. Okay. We're gonna fast forward. So he'll fast forward. So
and I remember being like,
so we got married, right? But here's my model behind it, right? So at the time,
2 months ahead,
at the time, because she gonna pick up on it. But at the time, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, man, yeah, we can get married.
Casual. He just kind of was like, yeah, if it don't work out, we'll split. And I remember
a year later, like we could be out. And she's like, yo, no, it's a covenant.
I was like, yeah, nah, that's not how marriage works. Like, I don't really know people that be getting divorced like that. Like, people I know, they be married 15, 20, 30 years. Like, they've been married for, even like when he mentioned that council of women around me, them women 15, 20, 30 years into their marriages. These not casual marriages. And I've seen these women fight in their marriages to stay in the marriage. So it's just like, that's what I know. That's what I'm a product of, I would say. And that's the way I plan to, proceed in my marriage, because with all of the counsel that I've gotten, it was to fight and to figure it out and to stay and to do the work. So yeah, all that being said, that's how we met. That's how we started dating. He told me a month in that he loved me. And then on like June 8th, he was like...
Let me tell y'all something though.
Wait, on June 8th...
Let me tell y'all something. Hold on. Let me tell y'all something. We all Christians.
No.
And God said, love thy neighbors as you love thyself. Love You should love everyone and everything that God has created. Like is a whole different conversation. Love is easy to love. It's not easy to like. And that's why it's easy for me to say, I love you. Go ahead.
Wait, but what about you liking me?
I like you.
Okay. Don't act like you did. Like, that's weird to distinguish. The way you just tried to distinguish the difference.
I mean, yeah, but you throwing me out there like I was thirsty. Like, I love you, girl. Like,
no, I didn't say that. I never implied that it said it that way. I just said that he said it. You know what? In fact, I actually, because we were having like a meeting during the time he told me, because we were having this meeting and I was recording the notes of that meeting and he said it during the course of that meeting, I have it on audio when he told me he loved me.
That's true.
So it was no coercing. It was no forcing.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. I made every move. Like even when we started to be together officially, like a month after that.
It was his idea. We were sitting next to each other at the island working on our computers, and he looked over at me and he was like, let's do it. Let's be together. And I was like, are you sure? Because prior to that, he had told me that like when it came to officially being together, that would take 4 seasons.
Rewind back 2 minutes when I mentioned about the 4 seasons. Go ahead.
Yeah. He said it would be 4 seasons. And in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I ain't thinking about it. Because the whole time we were dating and getting to know each other, I was literally praying like, God, if you ain't send this man my way, get rid of him. The sooner the better. Get him out the way. He talking about it's going to take 4 seasons. I ain't finna twiddle my thumbs and play with him for no whole year. Hold on, wait, no. I was like, I'm not finna twiddle my thumbs and play with him for no whole year. And I know that he was adamant about going to New York. And I knew for a fact I would never uproot my life. I would never quit my career. I wasn't going to do none of the things that I would need to do to be with him to go to New York as his girlfriend. That was never a move I was willing to make. I would never live with a man unless I was married to him.
You were potentially thinking about it when you were just being engaged.
No. See, I entertained the thought of it because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is where we are. He wants to
I'm gonna start throwing the cap button in like that every time you cap. I'm just gonna throw this in.
No. So I did entertain the thought of us being in New York together, engaged. But like he knows, I never had peace about it. So I knew it was never I knew it was never a move I was actually going to make because I never had peace about it in my heart. I would be like, yo, so how am I supposed to explain this?
Go ahead.
Where's the cat? Where's the cat?
Because you didn't.
Besides on your head, where's the cat?
But she was going. She would have moved if we was engaged.
No, I wouldn't have. Because I never had peace about it. I never had peace about it. Think about it like this. I had no one around me telling me not to do it, and I didn't have peace about it, so I know I wouldn't have gone through it. Versus when it came time for us to get married, I had almost everybody around me telling me not to do it, but I had peace about it and I went through with it. That's how I know I wouldn't have went through with what he's talking about. I would have never uprooted my life and moved to New York for a fiance because at any point if he would have broken it off, I would have moved out of state. I would have quit my career. I would have given up my home. I would have left my family. It was never something I was going to do. And he knows that.
That makes sense. You wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't have done it. And so in my mind, I was just like, okay, cool. All that to say, basically, I was in my mind the whole time. I was like, all right, great. Like, he's saying it's going to take 4 seasons, but he was saying it would take 4 seasons, but then he was also insisting that he wasn't going to New York without me.
That's true.
So in my mind, I'm like, he going to have a choice to make. And it ain't going to be my choice to make. It ain't going to be my cross to bear. It's going to be on him. And I never told him that. I never gave him an ultimatum. But in my mind, I was like, the whole time still at this point, God, if this man is not from you, get him out of my midst. Like, get him out of my way, get him out of the picture, get rid of him. Clip him, Lord, remove him, send him to New York and allow it to allow it to dissolve, like allow it to not work out. And push came to shove. We got engaged. He took me to New York for my birthday, which was my first time ever going to New York. And then about a month after we went to New York, we got married.
That's true. All of that's true, actually.
Wait, what part was not true? I'm so confused.
I didn't say none of it.
I'm perplexed.
I said everything was true.
You said that part,
I
like
said no, every part was true. I mean, I think that you overinflated the fact that like I was like over here showing interest and you weren't, but you know, that's
no. See, the reason I don't even have to gush about that or go into detail about that is because I have video on my page, 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 videos before this one, over a year ago, where I was specifically gushing over this man that lived in my building,
right.
And push came to shove.
Right,
Exhibit A.
So therefore you was interested.
But see, we both did genuinely lose interest though after we hung out that first time because and I'm not gonna say why, but there were a number of things that had me like, nah, I'm cool. I was tripping. I misconstrued this. Like it wasn't it. And what I thought it was, and he was like, man, she the Jesus girl. I ain't got time for that. So we both were like, okay, cool. We actually thought we liked each other, but we actually don't like each other, and cool. So when we came back to hang out or to work together over a month later, because by that time, his birthday had passed. He had turned 39. And when I first hung out with him, he was 38. So that being said, we were like, yeah, nah, this ain't that. So when we came back together to work together, it was cool. It was no misunderstanding or no misinterpreting of what the relationship was. We was like, we cool. We get along well. And we finna just work together. Huh?
Interpretation.
I said interpretation. I said interpretation.
You sure?
Yes.
It sounds like interpreting.
Okay, whatever. So
I was gonna wait till this video was over, but I was just like,
because this is how we really like talk.
Yeah.
It was like whatever. He'll be like, you that's not the word. So, but that being said, that's how we met, and that's where we met, and that's how we ended up here.
I would say
10 months into our very still newlywed.
I would say like add
marriage.
questions to the bottom, like why did we choose each other?
We could do a video about that if we wanted to.
Well, I want
See,
to
this is like
people,
our diary. We can do what we
people,
want.
Well, I ain't gonna say that part, but the thing is, oh God, no, no, not for me, not for me, because no, stop, like listen. I'm way too cool for that. Stop, please. I gotta stop that. All right, we gonna edit that part out.
No.
Because I can't. And she want to tell me about your.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, you tell.
No, I ain't about to say it. You said you.
So we are as of tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, in 2 days, we will be 5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
We'll be 5 months into pregnancy. So I'm pregnant, and if it looks like, wow, she's gained some weight, I was like, listen, I have to address this soon because, listen, the weight I've gained is obvious, but I'm pregnant. So I am brewing a little human.
A boy.
A little boy. And it's this guy's first baby. It's my first baby. It's my first pregnancy. And it has been a very joyous ride. What was that?
Nothing.
What was that?
You said that sure. Nothing. Nothing.
What was that?
I thought she was about to say something about me, but never mind. You didn't say it.
Okay. All right. Well, to avoid this video being too much longer, we're going to go ahead and cut it off here, and we'll do another video.
Because there's so much to talk about.
It's so much to talk about. Imagine getting married in 3 months, living in Chicago, and then going from Chicago to the East Coast, and then from the East Coast to the West Coast. So we got so many videos to upload. We got so much to just talk about.
And everything that we doing on the West Coast, everything that we did in the East Coast, everything gonna do in the East Coast. It's like, it's just crazy.
Where we want to raise the baby.
I think it's good that we're doing this.
I think so too. It'll be cool to look back on.
I don't, cause like think about all the things that we gonna talk about. Think what? Think about all the things that we gonna talk about.
Yeah. You're not gonna share everything, but
not everything.
It'll be like a little
but
diary.
The highlight reel is crazy.
Yeah, we can't tell everything.
Like the highlight reel is too crazy. But the thing is that like it's fitting to talk about it here though, because at the end of the day, like I don't share it, but I can share it with us because it's a part of our story.
Yeah.
Not too much, but I could tell some highlights that'll make it interesting.
Enough. The what is it? The Cliff Notes is good enough.
Yeah, the Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes are good enough.
Hey, y'all wouldn't even expect what we gonna have for y'all. So, like, trust me, y'all ain't gonna never expect it. So, anyway, stay tuned.
Bye.